Come on, you're on.
Why are you poking me with a stick? And where's my food? Are you serious? This is it? Sweet. Stank special jerky. You've come back and you're here for some more. Well, I'm glad you're here. And if you're new to the show, I'm happy to eat you. Meet you. This week on Zombie Chick, it's a doozy. Our little morsel of love is the 2008 Trailer Park of Terror, directed by Steven Goldman and based on the Imperium Comics series by the same name. Check them out online. Now, before we get too far into the intestinal track of this movie, I want to mention the cast. There are some real gems in here. One, the director, Steven Goldman, apparently a legend in country music videos. He won the Triple Crown of the country music industry. He directed Faith Hill's The Kiss. And even if you're not a country music fan like myself, I'm sure you know this song as its video was everywhere during its time. And if you're like me, all you wanted to do was shoot yourself in the head to get away from it. In hindsight, I probably should have. It would have saved me from this whole zombie business. 2, Priscilla Barnes, who was in Three's Company and Devil's Rejects, among many other things. 3, Lou Temple, who was also in Devil's Rejects and Rob Zombie's Halloween. 4, Tracy Walter, who has been in countless movies such as Repo Man, Silence of the Lambs, City Slickers, etc., etc., etc. And 5, Haley Marie Norman. Yep, the cute little briefcase number 25 herself. And that's just a few. I was a little shocked to see the cast in some of their credits, and I thought it worthy of a mention, so there you go. Now, this movie, like our last, isn't really your traditional zombie movie in which the recently deceased arise from the ground due to some type of radioactive poisoning or something, hell-bent on eating human living flesh in order to ease their pain. This movie is more along the lines of a Cinderella type movie or fairy tale. We have a beautiful young girl, Norma, trailer park queen, that is treated like trash and wishes only for her Prince Charming Aaron to take her away. And we also have animals. Now, they're not singing or making Norma dresses or doing much of anything, but we have them. Really, the only differences between Norma's story and Cinderella's is that Aaron is killed very early in the movie, breaking Norma's heart. Heck, Norma is even greeted by her fairy godmother, well, the man who pisses acid, come up with your own conclusions there, and makes a deal with Norma, giving her a gun to shoot every ass smear that ever messed with her. Afterwards, Norma kills herself and the Trailer Park of Terror is born. Really, just like Cinderella. It's just not animated. And it has zombies. And sex. And rock and roll. And drugs. But hey, it has a moral. Even though this isn't a typical zombie movie, I still really enjoyed it. It was gruesome, comical, the acting was well done, there was a pretty decent soundtrack, and the special effects were great. Plus, there are some great recipes in here that I would love to try. Within the very first 8 minutes of this movie, we have a little eye candy for the guys. Our first kill.
You lying son of a bitch! Oh, hell yeah, boy, be a hero! He is an achiever, goddamn!
Let's see how big a one he is.
Oh, hell, Snake, never kick a fresh turd on a hot day.
Fuck you, bro. You know I didn't mean to do that.
And our first inconsistency. You see, our Prince Charming was impaled on the fence, which ends up protruding from his chest cavity about 7 to 8 inches. but there is a horizontal bar on the fence that is only about 2 or 3 inches from the top. So there would really be no way that Aaron would be impaled that far. Now, if this isn't enough to grab your attention, then I suggest you go curl your pansy-ass self up with your Twilight series and leave the real horror to those that can handle it. At this point of the movie, we get our very strong insight into Norma, which attaches us to her throughout no matter what her endeavors.
All I ever wanted was for somebody to love me for me. Not the fucking whore that you think I am.
Norma meets the man, comes back to kill everyone in the trailer park, where we see 4 out of the 7 victims shown still moving or breathing. Oh, come on, directors, you can do something about that. And then Norma burns the whole trailer park down, killing herself with an explosion of propane tanks. Wow! All within the first 15 minutes. Woo doggy! We're then bombarded with a montage of newspapers and missing persons for the last 20 years. Montage our way into the future where we meet Pastor Lewis and all the wonderful troubled teens he's trying to save. Within the first few minutes that they're at the truck stop, we get a glimpse into their personalities and are able to make a pretty accurate prediction of how the movie's going to play out. We have Alex.
No, actually, I guess I never quit anything in my life.
Amber.
Stop staring at my ass, Jason.
Michael. Ooh, do I sense a little connection there? Bridget. Jason. Pastor Lewis.
No, vertical trinity, we don't believe violence is appropriate discipline. These are decent kids, they really are. They just need a little guidance, that's all.
And Tiffany. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, I got all 7. I don't think that number is coincidence. Now, of course, we have to have something to land this group into trouble. So we have them leaving during this huge rainstorm, and they eventually crash into an abandoned semi, disabling the bus. They then move to seek shelter at Tophet Meadows. Tophet Meadows. I'll explain later. Where they meet the very hospitable Norma with sweet tea already made.
Alex, stop it. Sweetie.
While the storm is still raging on, Norma entertains her guests and the audience's bond with Norma is reinstated and strengthened. We are also better acquainted with some of the trailer park's tenants. When the rain stops, the guests are led to trailers for the night and the fun begins. Pastor Lewis! I am surprised at your behavior. Here, you are preaching to these kiddos and trying to bring them into the light, and you, a married man, can't keep it in your pants? Tisk tisk. Don't you, a man of the cloth, know what Tophet means? Foreshadowing, buddy. You should learn to look for it in life. All right. You watching are probably yelling at me right now, but I don't know what it means. So here we go. Its origins is actually Hebrew. It's likened to hell. The history of the word is actually quite interesting. Now, since we're on the subject of religion, sort of, and I had mentioned earlier that I don't think the number 7 was a coincidence, I think now is an appropriate time to look a little closer at it. You can't deny that there is symbolism to Christianity in this movie, and I think that the 7 on the bus represent the 7 deadly sins. Now, many of these guys could be associated with more than one, and you may not agree with what I have chosen, but then again, you're not doing the review, are you? Now, I think Pastor Lewis best represents greed. At first look, you may say lust, but I said greed because I think that he wants the recognition of taking in these tough kids and trying to save them. But I don't think his heart is in it. I mean, look at the way he handles them.
And then kicked your fucking face in until your whole goddamn queer body stopped moving?
Hey, people. Bathroom, soda, snacks. Hey, hey. Get inside. We gotta get back on that bus. There's a storm coming. Come on. Hey, let's get a move on, troop.
Hey. You know you want. Just some people you can't save, you know what I mean?
Alex? This is a process of...
Not to mention the fact that he's already married. Pastor Lewis, my recipe number 1.
Well, damn. Don't you know it ain't good to leave your woman drying out in the sack?
Head cheese. Jason I pinned as lust for obvious reasons. He covets every piece of tail he sees. And he's killed by Miss China. No happy ending? Which brings us to recipe number 2. Baby back ribs. Jason's baby back ribs. Sorry. Tiffany is, of course, gluttony. She will do anything for drugs, as we saw earlier in the movie. Tiffany also has some of the best kill scenes, in my opinion. She's awoken by the smell of smoke and goes in search of her fix. She comes across Roach's trailer and smokes some of his weed and crack and is tripping when Roach comes in to give her a hand. Okay, 3 things that bug me about this scene is 1, you can sort of tell that she has her arm tucked up behind her due to the big bulge on the right side of her body. 2, when she falls on the ground to pick up her hand, you actually see her real hand tucked into the back of her pants. 3, if you look at the amount of arm left on her, cut off about here, compared to the amount that was on the floor, we have about 3 inches that are totally unaccounted for. Now Tiffany is able to get out of Roach's trailer and wanders back into Larlene's, where we have some of the best lines ever written for a zombie or a villain.
I don't want to die. Sausage biscuit. I'm sorry. I think maybe you best just go and get some help. Missing your chicken wing like you are there.
I know, it's great, right? Sausage biscuit. And then we come to recipe number 3, sushi style. Not a new recipe for zombies, I know, but it is a good one. However, this sushi recipe takes it into the next level by herbally infusing the meat first, as well as adding some chemicals. Not necessarily organic, but what is nowadays? Amber is pride with her holier-than-thou attitude. She's cocky and strives to be the alpha female. Watch out to everyone that gets in her way. She's so full of hot air that she just might burst. I didn't get the recipe alluded to. Maybe pressure cooking? Now, on to Envy. Alex, I know what you're thinking, but bear with me here. I chose Alex for Envy because have you ever met a person like him? I'm sure you have, either in school or work, or maybe he's your best friend. I don't know. But badass, loudmouth people like Alex usually have very low self-esteem, and they have to be the center of attention to make themselves feel good, and they'll go about it in any way they can. And if that means trying to tear others down, then so be it. Alex is envious of the way Bridget is trying to turn herself around, which is why he first verbally attacks her. Then he's on to Michael. These characters are comfortable with themselves. Ooh, thanks. And trying to make amends with the world. And Alex is envious of that. But really, Alex has no need to be envious any longer because this is the best damn jerky I've ever eaten. Thanks, Stank. Which brings us to recipe number 5, if you count pressure cooked. Marinated?
Because everything tastes better fried.
And fried to make Stank's phenomenal jerky. Michael. Aw, our sweet little Michael is Sloth. This guy you actually think is going to make it. He spends most of the movie hiding under a trailer, watching things that are going on. Not really trying to help anyone. And when he does try to help, well...
I'm Marv.
He sort of got what he deserved there. And Michael becomes recipe number 6. Roadkill. Again, not a new one for us zombies, but it does offer some very unique flavors. Which brings us to sin number 7, wrath. It is mentioned a few times throughout the movie that Bridget had a very hard life growing up. Her parents abused her and she allowed people to use her. In short, she was shat on all of her life. She's angry with the world, or was. She's the character that's trying to actually turn her life around. And what brings this film full circle.
All I ever wanted was to be loved for who I am. For me, goddammit. Not just some god of horror who gives it up. So I try to fix things and this is what I fucking get. Fucking backwards redneck zombies from hell. Fuck. You know what? Fucking kill me, you bitch. And thanks for the favor.
Pretty girl.
Sun's coming up, Norma.
You go on home now.
So there you have it. Trailer Park of Terror. It's a great movie and I highly recommend it, even though, again, it's not your typical zombie movie. I love it when you have a good horror film that actually has something to offer other than just entertainment. Like Night of the Living Dead, Trailer Park of Terror offers some well-needed exercise for that gray matter of yours. And let me tell you, no zombie enjoys eating a malnourished brain. Don't get me wrong, dumb or not, we're still coming for you, but the smart ones are tastier. If you want to get in touch with me, watch our end title page and be sure to check out laidoffproductions.com to view our other projects and pick up some swag. What better way to say I love you than a zombie chick t-shirt? Yeah. Now, remember, as long as I'm doing this, I don't have to go hunting for my humans to make tasty beef jerky. Stank can do that for me. I'm a domesticated, sweet little zombie that gets fed. But if I'm no longer supported, then I'm back on your streets hunting for your brains. Until next time, I'll see ya. And where's my food?